Hi, Southside. My name is Ray. Opening up like this is very new for me. I was born in southern Alberta, the youngest of 5 children with 4 older sisters. My mom and dad were together while I was growing up. My mom had an incredible heart for people and God, and our family was part of the Christian Reformed Church, or CRC. I was baptized there as a baby, went to church on Sundays, and attended catechism. We were an every Sunday church-going family, but faith never really made sense to me. As I understood it, believing in God was very legalistic. You were either good or bad, and your worth depended on how well you followed the rules. I don't remember much talk about the fact that I could be forgiven and saved by Jesus once and for all. Instead, I figured faith was just about keeping up appearances. Growing up, I thought you could party all week, go to church on Sunday to ask for forgiveness, and then do it all again on Monday nights. That was the extent of faith as I saw it. It didn't feel real, and it didn't seem to make a difference in daily life from my perspective. When I look back at my childhood, I can see that my dad was struggling. I think his downward spiral really began when his own father passed away. He carried a lot of anger from his life and didn't have a healthy way to climb out of it. I can see now that he really wanted to be better, but he was fighting battles he didn't know how to win. As a kid, I didn't understand that. I remember feeling like life was day to day. I was scared most days about how my dad's day had went and the choices he had made, because the quality of his day affected the rest of ours, usually negatively. Going to sleep was tough. I often couldn't sleep through the night, or I'd wake up from vivid nightmares because I never felt completely settled or safe. As I got older, I pulled away from church. If I didn't upset too many people that week, I figured I was okay. I believed in God, but it was an empty belief, not a real relationship. When I was still a teenager, I met my incredible wife, Denise, through school. We started dating, and within 6 months, we were married. We were very young, but that was normal for us Dutch kids. Denise was always stronger in her faith than I, and I pulled in opposite directions, often taking her down roads she didn't want to go down. Still, Denise and I built our life together, raising 2 beautiful daughters. I remember making decisions out of anger and feeling like I wasn't adequate as a husband and as a father. I carried bitterness and anger from my childhood and brought it into my family. Throughout the years, I was spending more and more time away from home, finding ways to be out instead of where I needed to be. Honestly, if I was Denise, I would have left me. Our kids grew up and eventually married, beginning adult lives of their own. We downsized and moved to Chilliwack onto South Sumas Road, just down the road from Southside Church. Denise's home church was Chilliwack CRC, and she thought about going back there, but something in her told her she should try Southside. I had historically avoided church because I had to work on Sundays, but I couldn't play that card with this Southside because Denise discovered they had an early service and I had no excuse. That first Sunday we walked in, and right away it felt different. This church was nothing like I was used to. Then Pastor Mike started speaking. He was speaking in a way I had never heard. He said that salvation is a free gift offered by Jesus, not something you can earn. I'd grown up thinking forgiveness was something you had to work for every single week, and even then you were probably still failing. But here was someone saying it had already been purchased for me. That thought stuck with me. I didn't fully understand it yet, but I knew we needed to keep coming back. March of this year was my breaking point. The industry I work in was struggling because of tariffs and sales were slow. At home, tensions were high. Financially, I could see we were on the brink. I remember thinking I was about to lose everything, my job, my home, my marriage. In my head, I could hear voices telling me, "You're done, you've lost it all, you're not gonna come back from this." I'd always been a guy who had to win, who had to come out on top, but suddenly there was no winning left to do. For the first time, I couldn't see my way out. I couldn't think of a fix, and without that, I didn't know who I was. Our oldest daughter and her husband had just moved to Edmonton that month. Denise was out there helping, and one day she sent me a message that stopped me in my tracks. She told me I can't keep staying in the same house and praying the same prayer for you. I just sat there staring at my phone. I didn't answer for a day or two. I felt like the end of my marriage. I thought she was right. She didn't need to keep living like this, and she deserved better. and honestly, I didn't believe I could change. I didn't sleep that week and I couldn't eat. My mind kept racing. I kept circling back to the same thought. I've come to the end of myself. I've got nothing left. The Sunday before Denise came home, I went to church alone. I remember standing there during worship next to a man who was smiling and singing like he had a joy I'd never known. And it hit me, I wanted that joy he felt. I bawled through the entire service, and at the end, when Pastor Mike once again explained the gospel as a free gift, I knew that this time it was for me. I raised my hand to pray and accept Jesus, telling him I couldn't do this anymore, I needed him. When Denise came home, I broke down. I actually fell to the floor. I remember saying, "You're right. I don't know what's going on, but I need to change. I can't do this anymore." I apologized, and incredibly, she accepted it. We agreed to keep moving forward together. The cherry on top came a week or two later. Pastor Mike shared something on a Sunday that I'll never forget. He told the story of the week I had raised my hand to accept Jesus. He highlighted that week, a handful of people had said that they saw angels all over the auditorium. That picture was a reminder that has stayed with me, a sign that God was moving in ways I couldn't even see at the time. Denise had already signed up for the upcoming baptism, and our daughter was planning to fly out to be there for her. She was telling me about the plans while we were driving one day, and I told her I needed to join her. Even though my parents had baptized me when I was a baby, I wanted to actually make the decision as a believer. Our baptism day was surreal. I remember watching Denise go under the water, and then she came back up, and I felt a release. I realized I was watching the physical representation of letting go of the past. When it was my turn, I knew it wasn't just making a public statement. I was leaving my old life behind and coming to a fresh start with God. I came out of that water lighter and freer. For the first time in my life, I understand hope. Hope that I can heal my relationship with my daughters. Hope that the cycle I grew up in can be broken. Hope that I can love Denise the way a husband should, with grace, patience, and selflessness. Hope that anger, stress, and the need to control don't have to rule my life. Hope that I can be a better grandfather than I was a father. Hope to be involved and to be a part of something bigger than myself. I'm in my 50s now, and I want my kids to experience this hope in life long before I found it. For the first time, I'm not just surviving, I'm alive, I'm excited, and I know God is still writing my story. And now, with our first grandbaby on the way, I'm filled with hope for God's future for our family. I want the people I love and everyone listening to know that the hope I have now, through Jesus, is possible for them too. Thank you, God, and thank you, Southside.